This is a making podcast. I'm a knitter and a sewer, and you can find me on Instagram under woollybean or woolly.bean. Trying to think. Currently, my shop, I sell knitting project bags, and you can find those on Etsy under the same name, woollybean. And I might switch back to woollybean.com, the site that I had, but I haven't decided yet. So I'll keep everyone posted on that, I'm sure. So just check my Instagram page. It's mostly where I'm the most active. And I haven't podcast since February. At the time, well, through most of the spring. If you're new here, you won't know this, but if you have watched any of my other podcasts or if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I struggle with anxiety, and it's been doing a lot better. It's been doing a lot better. So I think partly because it's summer, warm weather, I get outside more, and partly that I've been journaling. I have been eating extremely clean and strict for a few months, but now I've found what bothers me and what doesn't. So that has helped a ton. I can tell my hormones are balancing out. And it'll be, I'm sure, a few years to really balance back to where I was before, whenever this started. But anyways, I've got a lot to show you, I think. So I'm trying not to make this too long of a podcast because I feel like, I don't know, there's like a good balance of time, and I'd like to keep it in that. So let's get started. Let's go to finished objects. Okay, so here's my finished object. I was going to insert a picture, and then I thought I would just put it on, and I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I'll stand up so you can see the sweater. I'm just wearing like some high-waisted shorts, so I tuck my shirt in, and it hits like right at my belly button. The pattern, the stitch is just so pretty. Like, I heard some people saying like it looks like chainmail, but I don't think so. There's something about a textured sweater in a neutral that I just love. So the yarn is Wool Folk, and my first time knitting with it. It's the Tove DK. The pattern does not call for DK, it calls for worsted. But I had bought this on a D-stash off of Ravelry, and I think it was 7 skeins, 1,100, just like a hair over 1,100 yards, and any of the sweaters that I could find that I wanted to knit that were longer bodied or whatever. It just didn't work for yardage. So this one I decided on the Nurtured, and this is only my second sweater for myself. I've knit several baby sweaters, but that never seems to matter like for size, because I mean, you make them a little bit bigger and you can roll up the sleeves or whatever. I didn't want to do that for myself. So I tried to do a gauge swatch, but I don't know, with the stitch, I had a hard time being able to count what was what. So I just tried my best, figured out that I was knitting a little bit smaller of a gauge, and so I went up a size. Instead of knitting the extra small, I knit the small, and it came out perfect. I didn't check the finished measurements on the pattern to see if this would be considered an extra small or small based on size, but I knit it exactly to pattern. So I did the same needle size. I was concerned while I was knitting because it looked really loose. And then I thought, oh man, with blocking, like I don't want this like fishnet on me. But it didn't at all. Like at first I was like, well, I'll be wearing it always over something. Like a cropped sweater I'm not going to wear just without anything under it. So even if it was a slightly, like if you could see my skin a tiny bit, you would see a shirt or something. So it wasn't the end of the world if that happened, but that wasn't my preference. But partly it's like kind of got like almost like a double layer, and I think that helps. But it's incredibly soft because the Wool Folk yarn is merino. This is my first sweater for myself in merino, and it's going to be hard not to knit everything out of this because it's probably the most comfortable sweater I've ever put on. even store-bought. Like, I think because it's made for me, so it, you know, it fits just right. And I've worn it one time, 2 times. I wore it with like a skirt, like a A-line, yeah, A-line high-waisted skirt, and it just hit perfectly right at the right spot. And I wore it instead of wearing a cardigan out and in the cool morning, and I love it. So sleeve length is perfect. Like, it's not too short. It's like just hits right. I don't know. Whatever this is, I like it because it feels like comfy without being in the way. But it's not at a weird length where I'm like pulling it down. So anyways, this is my Nurtured by Andrea Mowry. I'll put all the details for the pattern on here on the screen. And also I have notes. Pretty sure I did detailed notes. I try to, but I put that all on my Ravelry. So I am on Ravelry as, I believe, jjdoucet. So or jdoucet, whatever it is, I'll put it on the screen and then you can check out my notes on there. So this is my only finished object, and I will move on to the works in progress. Okay, so for a while, I lost my knitting mojo, and something I learned, sorry, my hair got messed up taking my sweater off. Something I learned from my functional doctor, which is super interesting to me, is that when your body, because she asked me at my follow-up appointment, she would ask a bunch of questions, and she would ask about my creativity, like, have I done anything creative, like, and for a while, I mean, I can always say yes, because I just gravitate towards that, but finally, towards the end of, because I did a 1-month elimination diet, towards the end of that month, I was just like, something has happened, and I feel like old Juanita. I told her, like, I was suddenly on Ravelry, which she didn't know what that was, but I was on Ravelry looking at patterns again and writing lists and notebooks of things, you know, my yarn that I have and plans for it, and I just felt, my hair, sorry. I just felt that fire light up again, and she said that was a huge sign because it really, for one, shows you how your systems are all linked, and so when your body, like, it kind of pulls back out of certain areas when it needs to focus on something when you're not doing well. So when my anxiety was at its peak, I don't know, you know, it kind of turned those dials down in the creative departments to focus its energy on taking care of what it needed to do. And then when I started to do better, then it could, you know, those areas lit up again. So I have been, well, have I bought any yarn? No, I haven't bought any yarn. So I just have been using what I have in my stash. But I have cast on, like, I've always been someone that cast on multiple projects because I used to only knit one thing at a time, but usually it's because I only had the yarn for one project at a time. But I cast on things because I don't always feel like knitting the same thing. Like, sometimes I do. The Nurtured, I knit it straight through, which is why I got it done. If something is very meditative to knit and I like also holding it, which sounds weird, then I want to do that. But so the thing I'm thinking of right now, my Tecumseh, I started it, I don't know when. I've showed it a couple times on here. My poor pattern pages. Like, the problem is I hold it in this basket. These are just from like IKEA, and I love holding it in there because I got all my yarn for the project. But I just shoved my pattern in there and it just gets curled. Anyways, I've made some progress on it, I know, since I showed it last, but I have not even yet separated for the sleeves, though this pattern does have you, like, the sleeve separation is farther down. It does look huge, and the, I'm losing stitches. I need to put it on a bigger cord because you can't see, like, the full sweater, but anyways. Okay. So here's my sweater, and I've got one on the end and one needle. It's on 6s, I think, and I had my 6s that I pulled out for another project that I'm working on mostly right now. But I'm on, I think the pattern, yeah, it has 3 full repeats of this, so I am on the second of chart B, and it's going really well. I was worried because this area kind of had looked puckered, but once I got moved on, it loosened up and looked fine. These knit fine. I don't know what the difference is, but these I go through without any puckering. These look a little puckered, but it is what it is. It is, I don't have any in there. This is from Knitpicks, all of the yarn. This is their Swish, which is a merino, and I don't remember if it's superwash. It probably is, but I think it is. But it's just their bear, so it's undyed, the bear, and then this is their, it's in DK, and then this is Capra, this color and this color. I don't remember. It's like this. It's kind of an orange. I was going for gold. I ordered it. It looks more orange on the screen. In person, it's a little more yellowy gold, or yellowy orange. But it's a cashmere merino, so very, very soft, which is why it kind of has its fuzzy halo. And then this is the other, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the color names, but I think it's the only dark charcoal they have on there for this one. So I put it down. I enjoy knitting it. It's honestly just really warm to hold on your lap. And right now, because we're outside all the time, like this grabs little little sticks and grass. We're always, I started setting up my deck for summer living. I've never done that before. And I'm loving it. So I started on a new project that was easier to hold, smaller. And I'll want this as soon as it turns cold and be sad that it's not ready. But I just can't grab it right now and knit on it. So I'll do that later. But right now it looks like a poncho. But it's not. And it'll change once the sleeves get cast off. And it's going to be amazing to wear. Like, very squish. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I think that's it for that. So that's my Tecumseh. The pattern is by, I'm going to forget. I'm going to always tell you stuff at the end, I think. But Tecumseh by, I'm thinking of her Instagram name, Caitlin Hunter. I was going to say Boylan Knitworks, but Caitlin Hunter. And I love like her illustrations that she does. So I like to do, I'm not this good, but I like to do little illustrations and then do little watercolors for snail mail. And so the fact that she has those for her patterns, and it's like a perfect messy bun, it's pretty cool. Okay, so there's my Tecumseh, and then I think this is my only other, this might be my only other current work in progress. So that's not bad. Except for socks. I always have socks in the works, but I haven't knit on those in a little bit, so I'm not going to even show. But this is my hollows by, again, I'm thinking Instagram, B Mandarins, Melody Hoffman. I have wanted to knit this for a long, long time, and I got some yarn from a little yarn store over in Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's where I'm at, is Arkansas. And they had this on a clearance rack, which this doesn't show you very good, but it's a alpaca bamboo blend, and it's so soft and like the prettiest color. So I thought I was going to knit it out of this. I started the hollows with this yarn, and then I got to only like this section of it right here, and it was just really loose, like open knit. And a friend of mine saw it and the yarn, and she said that looks like almost, she's like, really fine fingering weight. And so I just wasn't sure about it. I don't know. And the yarn itself, because it was so loose, it's like you couldn't feel the softness of the yarn. So I just was like, okay, I'm gonna save that for a different pattern. And I looked in my stash, and I have 5 or 4 of this. This is also from Knitpicks. This is Capretta, their cashmere merino. Hold on, I don't know what I have the yarn right here. Okay. Platinum is the name. Capretta Platinum. And I have 4 or 5 of these little hanks. And I had bought these a while ago. I had this in 2 different colors because I was going to do a Raina shawl. And I didn't. I started it and then I can't remember. But anyway, so I started this, used this for the hollows, and immediately it made a huge difference. Like you could see the pattern, the gauge is right on, which it doesn't matter obviously for fit for a shawl, but I have learned if you're expecting it to be a certain size, I've had a shawl come out too small before. Anyways, so I'm really, really happy with it, and you can feel the softness of the yarn. So I just got to like a different part of the pattern where it's got like this little garter spot, and I'm flying through it, and it's something you can do and watch a show or watch kids. So I've been taking it outside when the kids play we have a little blow up pool and knitting. So I think I said everything about the pattern name, yarn. My hope is to have this because I wear a lot of tank tops and shorts in the summer, and it feels really good at home or outside, but then we run somewhere and I'm always cold, or for our meetings, the air conditioning is always turned up for the brothers in the suits, and so it's nice. It would be nice to have something to drape around my shoulders. So that's the plan for this. And I think that's it for my my works in progress. And the only 2 I have this yarn. I'm joining the Natural Dye Knit Along by A Wooden Nest, Lindsay, and this is her yarn. It is I've showed it on here before because I started making fur socks with this, and I had to set it down when I lost my knitting mojo, and then I couldn't remember, I don't know what I had done with it, so I just ripped it back. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do socks or what yet, but I have this set aside to use it, and it's avocado over dyed with iron, and it's been sitting in a bag with some soap wash, and it smells so good. So this is going to be cast on soon, probably socks. But I'm doing that, and then I also have this yarn. I have 6 of these. I buy a lot of Knitpicks yarn. I have some Simply Wool, and this is in the color Winkle. And I have 6 of these, and I'm going to use them to somehow knit, because I think I don't have quite enough yardage, or it's like right on the edge, but to knit an oversized cardigan for just like wearing around the house, like a coat cardigan. You got yarn because of my mouth. So that's going to be cast on as soon as I decide on which one. I'm trying to decide. I have like a smaller size of the Ronin in mind, or the capsule cardigan by Shannon Cook, or there was another one I had picked out, but I have to decide on that. So yeah, that's all my knitting. Okay, so I just have a little bit of sewing to share with you. I bought this fabric just recently, I don't know, but I think I showed it on my Instagram, on my stories for sure. And this is my first time with rayon. Not my first time. Someone gave me a project half done, and it was a rayon material, and it was a little dress, and they started making it for their daughter, and so I finished it. She gave it to me because her daughter had outgrown that size, and so I finished it, but all I had done was make a few alterations to the bodice to fit my daughter, and then hemmed it. So this will be my first real project with rayon. And this is Cotton and Steel. Oh, come on, I know who this is. I'm waiting for it to say on the side, but I can't think of her name. Oh, I'll put it on the screen because it's not coming, but it is the prettiest. I think I got 2 yards, and it's like this rusty brown, orangey brown, and I am planning some kind of a top. So I cannot decide. I think I want to do a tank with this, but I think I have too much for a tank. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide, but I do want it to be a top. Now I'm wishing I had got enough to make a dress out of it. But I bought several things at once, and so I didn't quite have enough. I was just thinking, like, what could I get, like, make the most of, and I wanted to practice. But I have the willow tank dress pattern. And so I was thinking of just doing a tank with this. So I have that in the works. So hopefully the next time I podcast, I'll have this done. I haven't cut it out, obviously, or anything, but I started on this, and this is just, I should write down designer names. I want to say this is Cotton and Flax. Aaron Dollar? I want to say that's who this is. Anyways, looks gigantic. But it is the shirt number 1, and all I've done so far is I cut it out and then sewed the 2 together, and then I put it on and figured out where I wanted the neckline to fall, and then cut it, and now I have to do the neckline and then hem it. But it's a linen cotton blend, and I just loved the grid. I kind of wish I had put a pocket on it, but I also kind of want to wear this a little dressed up too, so I think the pocket would kind of dress it down too much, so I'm fine with it. But it's a little bit stiff, but that's linen, so I think, linen gets softer with wash and use, and I am really excited. But I don't know. I know it's a little big on me, like it's got 6 inches of or more of ease, but it's got like a really good length to it. A little cropped, but not too much. So that all finished soon. I just had to buy the bias tape for the neck because I didn't have leftover fabric enough to make my own to match it, so I just bought some black. And then I have this 4 yards of 2-inch buffalo check. It might be Robert Hoffman, I can't remember, but I got it from fabric.com. I was gonna say I got all of it, but I did not get all of the fabric from fabric.com. Got some from Bijou Lovely, and then some from fabric.com. So anyways, I got 4 yards because this is going to be a hinterland dress, and the inspiration might be a dress you've seen. Ruli, I have never bought anything from them. Friends and family have, but they had a dress, or have a dress, that's similar outline or shape to the hinterland, like a half sleeve, like right above the elbow, and the bodice is a little bit loose but gathered at the waist, and then like a midi length. And so I bought enough fabric to do something like that I thought would be really nice for fall and winter. I could wear it anytime, but I just really thought, I was like, man, with some like little booties, and it would just be comfortable. So that's planned for that. And then the other sewing that I have is just not clothes, but for bags, but for me. So I'm excited. So I don't have a ton of, I do have several bags I made, but I always save like the prototypes, like the ones I made at the very beginning that aren't the best for myself. I made myself one bag after I kind of had changed the design. It was like one of the first, or like the second of the new design. And so I kept that for myself, but I have not like purposefully made any bags. Not on purpose. I just meant like sat down, and I have not made myself anything. But in the Making magazine issue number 6, the black and white one, apparently I only look at people on Instagram because I'm thinking Noodlehead, but it's Anna Graham. It's called the Making bag, And here's like a picture of someone holding it. But, you know, you buy the book and you get patterns inside and knitting and sewing. And, I mean, honestly, not even the front. This one didn't really grab me, but then this one did. Look at it. Like, on this, it's like done in a natural linen. And then the interior has like this really pretty pattern. And again, it's like a grid. So pretty. So, this is what I'm making for my project bag. And I picked out this. I already cut the pieces out. I just have to sew them. But I picked out this Waffle Paper Company peony print. And then I'm going to do the natural interior. And with some like little leather accents and stuff. And then I think I cut it out. But I thought of adding, to cut the bottom piece separately like this. Which I've never done a bag with a separate bottom. So I got some waxed canvas and I thought of putting it on that since this is so light colored. I thought that might help with keeping it clean. So I will post lots of pictures on that on Instagram. And then, oh, I should have, I didn't, in the other, it's either the first or the second Making magazine, the Wool and Wax Tote. It is another favorite, and that one I think I want to make it to take to my meetings, or just anytime. Like, I'm really excited. Oh, I hear kids calling me. I was just thinking it is amazing that kids have not burst that door. So I'm gonna try to finish up quickly before they find me. My husband's upstairs with them, but I'm down here in my studio and they haven't thought to find me. So the exterior has like a contrast because wool and wax. So I got the waxed canvas in brown that I'm going to make the bottom half, and then a navy canvas for the top, and then leather handles, and then the interior has the same print but in the dark, in the peony. So I'm excited. I love the smell of fabric. New fabric. Actually, there's something about like the feel of stuff, like yarn and fabric and even the waxed canvas, like there's something nice about the sensory aspect of it. I think that is it, and this might be one of my shorter podcasts, but that's fine. So I feel like I had a fair amount of things to share, and I'm going to pause this and then finish an ending. Thank you for watching. That's a good thing to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping up with this mess of a podcast, and thank you always for your kind comments. And then if you want to see any more of anything to do with Woolly Bean and my little making adventures, then check out my Instagram at woollybean.com. Follow me on Ravelry. Pretty much it. So, all right. Thank you guys. Bye.
I punch him.